Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I've got another in the bag video for you. I already shared my daytime in the bag video with you. However, I play way more night golf these days than I do daytime, so I wanted to share that with you as well. Less molds to cover, a little more duplication between stabilities and such. If you haven't watched my daytime video, it's going to be up here somewhere, and go ahead and watch that as well. Give it a like. Maybe subscribe if you like what I'm talking about. But yeah, so let's get started. I'm gonna do it in reverse order just because that's the way it's stacked. So starting up with my distance drivers, I've got a Color Glow Emerson Keith Raider. This thing is sweet. I haven't beaten this thing in yet, but it fights the wind. I can see it easily. And I really like this. I already talked about in the daytime. I love the Raider. It's got the stability I'm looking for without getting beaten in and getting flippy, because I want that speed to be my wind fighter for my arm. I'm not going to get a full flight out of something like this. It is for fighting the wind or getting around obstacles. It's not my full flight disc. So Raider, definitely glad I scored a Color Glow. And then Ballista Pro, Moonshine as well. Very similar, but I can get this one to stand up. So it's just slightly different. Maybe a little bit of overlap there, but different enough that I like to bag both of them. And then, again, Moonshine plastic for nighttime stuff. And then I started throwing DDXs because their plastic glows a whole lot better than or at least quicker. It gets glowing quicker than the Moonshine plastic or the Latitude Color Glow. So I really like the Discmania glow stuff. So I started throwing DDX, and I like it so much. There's actually 3 of them here. These 2 are uninked, not been thrown yet. But I like it so much. I definitely have some of those in the wings more than any other disc. And yeah, I already spoke about, what I can do. This thing is flippy enough, I can get it to hit the angles I want, and I can get a full flight. This is probably my furthest flying nighttime disc. Love the DDX in the glow plastic. The regular is a little flippy, so even during the day, I prefer the glow plastic. Next up, Discmania PD. I pretty much got it for the graphic and the Color Glow aspect because it glows so well. I actually really like these. I haven't picked up a Dark Maul 2 yet. I've got a couple at the shop that I've been eyeing, but I really like this disc a lot. It's a 10-speed, so I can horse it around a little bit. Not as overstable as the new Dark Mauls. Yeah, I actually really like this. Again, like I said, I just got it, for the graphic and the glow, but I've been liking it more and more. Sometimes this is in my daytime bag. So that's drivers. All right, next up is Fairway Drivers. You saw these in my daytime video. Discmania FD Night Strike 2 and FD2 Royal Rage. I kind of use these 2 interchangeable, or with interchangeable shots. There's a little more glide on FD and less glide, more stability on the FD2, but maybe I need to throw it harder because of the wind, or it's uphill. I'll bump it up to the FD2. Otherwise, I like the FD a lot. I can shape shots with it a little bit better. They're both 7-speed, so those are both good discs. And then my first mint discs in this video is the Alpha in the Nocturnal plastic. How cool is that stamp with fireflies and a mason jar? As a Texas-based company in the South, that's just perfect. But how it flies, it is straight with a little bit of turn and consistent fade at the end. A little more glide than my other Alphas. It's pretty domey. Let's see if I can get it. Yep. So pretty domey. Got a nice pop top on it. Less overstable than the first runs. This is a second run. But I like the Alphas a lot. Glad I have it in a glow plastic. Speaking of glow plastic, it's not available in the Freetail, which is Mint's understable. It's like a 10-speed, I think, but it doesn't take that much power to manipulate this one. If I throw it flat, it's a roller. If I throw it hyzer, it's going to pop up and turn right with a little bit of fade, nice full flight out of it. But that brings up a good point. You don't need to splurge for the glow plastics for your nighttime setup. You could get easy to find colors like this, or bright oranges or pinks. And then you could put glow dots or glow tape on if you need. That's how I went for a long time before I started splurging on the glow plastics. And the last wide rim driver in my nighttime bag is the Flick. If you watched my daytime video, I love the Flick. I use it for over the top shots. I use it for, you know, sidearm thumbers, and I use it for tomahawks. Anything where I need to get around something. I'll drive with it on some holes, but usually it's a utility disc, like get out of trouble, get around an obstacle, trick shots. It's a fun disc to throw. It's a little heavier than my daytime one, but it's getting pretty beaten in because of how much I use it at night. Solid disc for sure. And that's it for fairway and utility drivers. All right, next up is mids. Starting off with my most overstable mid, the Bobcat. It's another disc from Mint. It's probably my favorite one from them. Can't say enough good things about this disc. It's got a good flight. It's really unique. It's really torque resistant. I can throw this thing as hard as I want, and it's not gonna come out wobbly and have this weird torque issue on it. And it's also not gonna flip over and turn out to the right. It's going to stay on line and come back consistently. I love the Bobcat. I would highly recommend trying one. If you can find one in a glow plastic for nighttime use, more power to you. I had to go to Infinite Discs to get mine, but it's available in 4 other plastics, like 3 normal premium plastics and a putter plastic, and you can get some good colors in it, so it's easy to find with some glow dots. I'd definitely recommend a Bobcat. This is out of order, but the Buzz is next. Right now I'm rocking a 2019 limited edition Halloween Buzz with it. A little more overstable than the highlighter colored Big Z Buzz I was using for night golf, but I like it a lot. Gotta have a Buzz. Up next, this is a fun disc for me, the Crescent Falcon 2. I got this disc in a treasure disc contest that a local shop was running. So I found their treasure disc at our local course and then traded it in for this baby. I definitely got a good deal on that. It's a MD4 from Discmania if you're not familiar. And yeah, I love shot shaping with this. I mean, I can put it on an exaggerated line and it'll hold it for a little bit, but it always comes out consistently. I really enjoy that disc a lot. And it's just a bump up really from my MD3, which I depend on day or night. I love my MD3. This C-Line Color Glow one, I can get it to hold lines pretty easily. I mean, I can throw big hyzer bombs and it's going to hold hyzer, or I can throw like tight anti-flex shots down tunnel fairways with it. I like it a lot. So much that I took my Iron Samurai MD3 out of storage because I almost lost to this once and I was worried. It was in a tournament and I was like, I'm not going to let that happen again. MD3, I'm going to double up on them. This one's got cool metal flake in it as well. It's a little heavier and a little less understable and flippy. So if it's a little windy, I can bump up to this, or if I need the same shot shape as this beat up C-Line one, the Color Glow, I can get it out of this. But that's where the MD4 comes in, because it's just a little more overstable. So for like windy shots, I can bump it up to that. So that is my mid-range game. All right, last up for my nighttime in the bag that varies off of my daytime bag would be my throwing putters. I have a Glow P2 as a throwing putter. I love teeing off with this thing, but it's also good for, you know, touch-up shots, whether it's backhand or forehand. I can get a nice consistent float into the green, and it's just so deep with the narrow rim, it'll settle pretty quickly almost on any green. But where I need to get a little trickier, I will go up to my Jawbreaker Glow Zone. I love this disc. I've thrown zones for a while, but this one is just cool because it's in the softer plastic. It'll settle and grip in treacherous greens really, really well. You know, whether it's on a hill or it's a small green, I can put this thing in there. on all kinds of different lines. You know, whether it's like a flex forehand, touch shots, over the top, it's going to settle up nicely. And then I also like it because it's in the putter plastic as opposed to the premium plastics. If it's really windy, I'll putt with this because it's so pan-topped, or not, yeah, it's so pan-topped and flat, I can stab it into a basket, you know, for, you know, those testy wind shots where normally you're going to make it confidently without wind, but all of a sudden the wind is a huge issue. Instead of laying up, I'll try and stab it in with this, and if I miss, it's so overstable, the wind isn't going to really like carry it. It'll come crashing down, and usually I'll be able to make my comeback putt. And then lastly, just in case you haven't seen the other video, I putt with Lunas and Fierces. The Luna is my confidence, go get it putter. The only place I really shake with this one is around edge of circle, just because it does have that overstable finish, and I'm a spin putter, so my accuracy, you know, decreases quite a bit when I'm aiming. Sorry about that, got a phone call. Whenever I'm upping my power, my accuracy goes down around the edge of the circle, so I kind of, that's like layup territory with this, which is where I really like the Fierce. Because of the understability, it penetrates and pushes forward just a little bit more than the Luna does, and I can cash in on those like edge of circle tester putts. For me, this has increased my range a little bit. And then also throwing, it's fun throwing putter. It's opened up some like different backhand turnover shots where normally I try to use a forehand overstable fairway driver. Backhand turnover putter shot has opened up a tremendous amount of my game. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully maybe you saw a disc or heard me say something about a disc that made you want to try it. Hopefully your courses are still open, and if not, get that putting practice in. That's gonna, you know, make and break all of our games when we can get back at the course and give each other high fives and play tournaments together. As always, like and subscribe. Feel free to comment, give me critiques, and stay tuned for the next video. Thanks.